So I am going to explain about the poem The Good Morrow by John Donne. So stanza 1. I wonder by my troth what thou I did. Did we loved? So in these lines, the speaker sincerely wonders what he and his beloved were doing with their lives before they fell in love. By my troth means by my word or truthfully. Were we not weaned till then? So here the poet compares their early lives to those of unweaned babies, suggesting that they were immature and unaware of true emotional or spiritual nourishment, but sucked on country pleasures childishly. Here the poet says that before knowing real love, they indulged in simple, superficial joys. He had used the word country pleasures. He is trying to explain the real love, and they indulge in simple, superficial joys with childlike ignorance. Or snorted we in the seven sleepers' den. This means that he wonders if they were like the seven sleepers of Christian legend who slept for centuries, suggesting they were in a kind of spiritual slumber before their love awakened them. 'Twas so, but this all pleasures fancies be. Here the poet may try to say that yes, it was like that. All earlier pleasures were more fantasies or illusions, lacking real depth or meaning. If ever any beauty I did see, which I desired and got, 'twas but a dream of thee. He tries to say that any beauty of pleasure he experienced in the past was only a shadow or dream of the true love he has now found in his beloved. So the meaning of this full stanza is that the speaker wonders that he and his beloved did with their lives before falling in love. वो बोलता है कि कवि सोचता है कि जैसे सच्चा प्यार मिलने से पहले वह और उसकी प्रेमिका क्या कर रहे थे, और वो आगे कहता है कि पहले का जीवन जैसे उसका अज्ञानता में बीता, स्टेट ऑफ इग्नोरेंस, जैसे छोटे बच्चे या गहरी नींद में सोए हुए लोग होते हैं, unweaned babies or people sleeping without awareness. He says that whatever beauty or joy he experienced before was just a dream. जो भी पहले सुंदरता या उसे खुशी मिली थी वह केवल एक सपना था. A shadow of the real love he has now found. और अब असली प्यार तो उसे अब मिला है. Now stanza 2. And now good morrow to our waking souls. The poet says that with their love, their souls have finally awakened. He greets this awakening with a heartfelt good morning, means good morrow. Which watch not one another out of fear. He says that unlike people in lesser relationships, Their souls do not keep watch over each other out of jealousy or distrust. For love, all love of other sides controls. He means that their love is so complete that it surpasses all other desires and distractions and makes one little room everywhere. The poet says that their shared space feels as vast and fulfilling as the entire world because of their love. Let's see, discoverers to a new world have gone. He says explorers may discover new lands and seas. Let maps to other worlds on worlds have shown, and maps may show many different worlds to others. Let us possess one world, each hath one and is one. He says that, but he and his beloved only need each other, and each of them contains a whole world, and together they are united as one. So the meaning of this second stanza is, now that they have found true love, their souls are awake. अब जब उन्हें सच्चा प्यार मिल गया है तो उनके आत्मा जैसे जाग गई है. They no longer fear or doubt each other. अब वे एक दूसरे से डरते नहीं हैं. Their love is so deep that it makes their small room feel like the entire world. उनका प्यार इतना गहरा है कि उनका छोटा कमरा भी पूरी दुनिया जैसा लगता है. While others explore the seas or study maps, the speaker feels that he and his beloved are complete within each other. और जबकि बाकी लोग नए देश खोजते हैं, लेकिन वे दोनों एक दूसरे में ही पूरी दुनिया देख लेते हैं. Stanza 3. My face in thine eye, thine in mine appears. The poet here explains that they see themselves, the lovers see themselves reflected in each other, suggesting deep mutual understanding and intimacy. And true plain hearts do in the faces rest. So their hearts are honest and open, clearly revealed on their faces. Where can we find two better hemispheres? And their love creates a perfect unity, like two hemispheres forming a complete globe, as you all know. And without sharp north, without declining west. Their union is without coldness. Sharp north का मतलब होता है without coldness. He means to say that without coldness, or declining west, he tries to say that, or fading, suggesting it is a eternal without any flaw or decay. Whatever dies was not mixed equally. He says that things die or fade were never truly or equally joined. If our two loves be one, or thou and I, love so alike that none can slacken, none can die. If their love is truly united, so perfect and equal, then it is eternal. Neither of them will tire of the other, and their love will never die. So meaning of this third stanza is, the speaker says that they see their own reflection in each other's eyes, showing their deep emotional connection. कवि कहता है कि वे एक दूसरे की आंखों में खुद को देखते हैं, जो उनके गहरे जुड़ाव को दिखाता है. Their hearts are pure and honest, और उनके दिल सच्चे और साफ हैं. He compares their love to two perfect halves, hemispheres of a globe. तो वह उनके प्यार की तुलना किससे करता है? धरती के 2 बराबर हिस्सों से करता है, जो एकदम सही तरीके से जुड़े हैं, जॉइंट परफेक्टली विद नो कोल्डनेस और फेडिंग। क्योंकि उनका प्यार, सिंस देयर लव इज इक्वल एंड ट्रू, इट विल नेवर फेड और ड्राई। क्योंकि उनका प्यार बराबरी वाला है और सच्चा है, इसलिए वह कभी खत्म नहीं होगा। So hope you have I have explained it clearly, the whole poem.